Happy birthday!
Hey, everybody!
Mine just
Just squealed. Oh, Paul, it's our birthday.
It's our birthday today.
It's not our birthday.
Today, Hope Community.
Yes, today exactly.
Yeah, exactly. 7 years ago today, Hope Community launched officially to the world, to our community. And it's been exciting. It's been wild. It's been scary.
Oh, yeah. All the above.
But we just wanted to take some time to celebrate what God has been doing. We're not going to unpack our story here because we've already done that in the HC Conversations podcast. The HC story, parts 1, 2, and 3. August, September, and October of last year. So if you go to iTunes or Spotify, you can find those, or on YouTube.
Not last year at this point, because it's January now.
Oh,
So
2022.
Yeah. Yep.
2022. Yeah. So
check those out.
yes, check those out. But Phil, you just wanted to go over some things that we've seen God do over the last 7 years.
7 years. It's hard to believe that we're 7. And yeah, we have seen God be so faithful and do so many things. And sometimes we lose sight of that because we're in the grind, we're in the day-to-day. Some of you have been with us since the very beginning. Others of you, maybe you're newer, so this is going to be some cool information for you to know. And hey, if you've been thinking about checking out Hope Community, what are you waiting for? Because God is up to something. So here's what we've seen in the past 7 years, Paul, and our wonderful people. Are you ready for this? In the past 7 years, we've had 16 baptisms at Hope Community. 16 people crossing that line of faith saying, hey, I am all in for Jesus. I'm publicly declaring this. In the last 7 years, we have been able to collectively, as a church, through our church's generosity, give over $50,000 back to our local community and nonprofits and organizations. We have sponsored as a church 12 compassion children. He's going to do it every single time.
I am.
We have gone from a church that started off as 25 ragtag people to now a church of over 100 with a kids ministry that is busting at the seams, a student ministry that is growing and reaching students, and students are growing. When we started, we didn't have kids or students, so that's all new.
We had Braxton.
We had my child. We have been able to partner with Habitat for Humanity on 3 different homes. We are doing spring cleanup and fall leaf raking every single year. And in this past year, we paid off our building in full.
Actually, it's 2022.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So, yeah, the year before. Yes. You guys, that has all happened in the past 7 years. And that is incredible, and that is amazing, and we cannot believe what God has done from, again, when we started and it was like, what is this? Is this going to work? We don't know, to where we are today. And you have been a huge, huge part of that. I mean, this is not something that Paul and I do or just a small group of people do. It is just the faithfulness of God's people, the faith of God's people showing up, and then God's faithfulness taking over and saying, watch what I'm going to do with that. And so while that's all really exciting, what's more exciting is what's still coming up.
Right.
Okay. Let's not. I mean, we're gonna pause and we're gonna celebrate. And by the way, we had kettle corn yesterday at church, and so if you missed that, that's sad for you. But you don't ever miss the first January or the first January.
First Sunday in January.
Yeah, at Hope Community, because it's birthday Sunday.
That's right. We've had fry pies. We've had cinnamon rolls. We've had cupcakes.
Remember we had the donut pegboard?
Yes, we had donut pegboard with blue sprinkles.
But they were delicious. We love to celebrate, and we're going to celebrate. But just as we're celebrating what God has done, we are looking forward with expectation and celebration to what He is going to do in the next year, in the next several years, in the next season. It is cliche to say, but we feel like we're just getting started. That God is just getting started with what He is going to do in and through this church. We're really excited. We'll just say that. There are things that we have been seeing that it just has this feeling of we're on the verge of something. That God is, I don't know exactly what is coming up and what that looks like, but there's just a feeling.
Yeah.
And just something that I've been thinking of, and I'll share with you. It's kind of a joke, but it's also serious. That as you think through Scripture and you think through God doing things and numbers having significance, 7 always, it symbolizes like a number of completion, right? There's the 7 days of creation, and then there's 7 sevens, and then it's the year of Jubilee, and then anyway, you get the idea. That it feels like as a church, as we're turning 7 years old now, we've had 7 years as a church, it feels like this first era of Hope Community is coming to a close, and it has prepared us for what's next. As we launch into a new season, as we look forward to the new thing that God is going to do, man, we're excited. And we're excited that you get to be a part of that. And here's the thing. We absolutely need you to be a part of that. Just like Hope Community wouldn't be here without what y'all have done, we are not going to step into the next season of what God has for our church without you, without each and every one of you. And so here's what that means. That means showing up and being present for our Sunday gatherings as the people of God gather to worship God. Like, be there for that. Here's what that also means. If you haven't engaged with us as a church yet, I want to encourage you to do so or take that to another level. So, hey, if you're part of our church, we want you to be giving financially. We want you to be serving somewhere, and we want you to be inviting. Don't hold back what God has done in your faith through this church. Share that with other people. And you don't need to freak out about that. We're not telling you to go out and knocking on doors, like trying to individually win people to Christ. It's an invitation. Say, hey, you come to church with me. It's my church, and I love it. You know?
Right, because those people that you know that you're friends with, newsflash, they already know that you go to church.
Yeah.
So, and they're expecting you to invite them.
Yeah, don't be scared.
So you don't have to share the gospel with them, lead them to Christ. You can do that.
Yeah.
But just simply invite them to church. Say, hey, you want to come to church with me this Sunday? I'll save you a seat.
Yeah. If God has worked in your life through this church, trust that if you invite people in your life, he'll work in them too. That's how this thing works.
Right.
So yeah, it's been an incredible 7 years. We cannot wait for what the future holds. And we can't wait to see what God's going to do in and through all of you.
That's right. So thanks for being part of this journey. And let's continue to celebrate what God's doing.
Yeah. See you Sunday.